Glory's chase, feel the ground shake. You stand tall, never fear the climb. All for one, and it's game time. In the stands, hear the roaring crowds. Wearing colors, we're standing proud. 12 teams fight under the spotlight's rays. Glory's night in the all-star blaze. Sweat and toil on this hallowed turf, one will rise.
Good evening, all stars. Hope you're all well. Happy Sunday, and hope you're all recovered for that last-minute salvo from England and Jude Bellingham. So tonight, hopefully a little bit more exciting than 89 minutes of that game. We're into the business end, as we said on the last stream. We're down to around about 4 to 5 games remaining, with the exception of the Bisons, who do have a couple of games in hand on the teams that are chasing them. It does look likely at this stage that it will be the Bisons who do finish top and do get, I suppose, what we'd be calling the All-Star Shield, maybe, the 3 conference divisions. And they would finish top out of the overall aggregate. And as you can see, kind of where it is getting really, really interesting, bearing in mind that Pelham, Bisons, Drivetrain and Dandies did not play last time out because they were playing in the cup. It is getting interesting down at that bottom end. Even a Mega Horse, you can hear me all right? If you can just let me know that you can, after me gaff last week with the muted discussion of the league table. Evening, Rob. How you doing, my man? You can see there that we've got really Des Moines have probably pulled themselves out of the battle for the playoff places with that victory against the Steam Pigs. And the Dandies on 36 points, Alcatraz on 35, who leapfrogged back into the top 8, having been poor for so very, very long. Blackwater Gators are a team that are massively on the slide, and they do look in a little bit of trouble falling out of the top 8 for the first time in a number of game weeks. Showpump Sloths seem to be mounting a little bit of a recovery. They do play the Dandies tonight, so if they were to get a win, they would only be 4 points off the Dandies and 3 points off Alcatraz, given Alcatraz's results elsewhere, playing a game more as well. A local Fire, whose fire seems to have been put out, although they aren't absolutely out of it. They do have 4 games left, 12 points left, win all 4, and it would take them to 39. Same with Memphis Reigns. Bizarrely, they could win all 5 games and finish on 36 points. Although given where the season has been, it looks unlikely for Rocks and his men that this will be there. Yeah, and you can just see the arrows at the side. You can see the movement based on last week's performances. Alcatraz moving up, Blackwater Gators moving down, a local Fire moving down, and the Showpump Sloths moving down. Apologies for the burp in there, lads. I've just had the most amazing lamb joint cooked by Mrs. Duggan. So we get on and we crack on tonight. We haven't had any requests for early fixtures. Rob is in the chat. So is the horse. So is the local manager. So I think we'll start with Memphis Reigns and El Loco, given that Scotty is here. They do submit a new tactic file. And you imagine that this is them probably testing out a little bit of a tactic file for next season. It is, massive changes over the last couple of weeks given their form. And this is looking very much like Alf Bridges and Narrow over at the Sloths in the Super League. Still some very young players in here, but you've got to think that Scott will be scratching around in the summer to potentially bring some more firepower into the team. They really haven't scored enough. Are they the lowest scorers? Bar Memphis Reigns, they are the lowest scorers across all 3 conferences. So you'd think that firepower would be top of his agenda. Torres, Viduka, Smith, Keane, Mido, Cabello, they're all really definitely not kind of first 2 season players, you wouldn't say. Robbie Keane certainly is a striker, definitely not maybe as an AMC. And Viduka is probably the pick of the bunch, but can't really get a sniff at the minute. So we'll see how they'll go. Over to the Memphis Rains, who make no changes. We have this hashtag 0BDMC with the 5 DMCs across that line, and they'll be hoping that Vieira, Kuehl, and Aymar can click tonight. Best of luck to both managers. It is really probably must-win territory for El Logo now if they do want to stay in that playoff hunt. And there is all of the preamble around strikers and goals being shushed by Fernando Torres, who puts his team 1-0 up. We jump to 32 minutes and Memphis Rains go up the other end, and it is Julio Arca, and they've absolutely had a double job there, but one disallowed. 37 minutes. Game suddenly came to life 37 minutes in. Vieira now smashes it low, and it is a brace for the Memphis Rains. Arca and Vieira combining there. Can El Loco Fire turn this game around, having been in control for about 32 minutes until that Arca goal? And it's three. It's three. The narrow really isn't working, which is a little bit strange, as you're probably looking at two formations. Expect the El Loco Fire boys to have more of the ball given the gaps in the Memphis Rains midfield. But they have really just came from nowhere there, and they haven't had much of the ball at all. They've just made forward with it. Totally bizarre. Really cruel half of football, given that El Loco Fire went 1-0 up at half time. I know Rox isn't going to be in the chat tonight, so we'll hop over to Scott's boys. It is yet another Gareth Southgate poor 5 there. Not only is he underperforming in the dugout as manager, but he's also performing for the El Loco Fire boys. 6s and 7s there. Conditions, nothing to worry too much about, but you'd think that Scotty will be ringing the changes, given that it is must win really, and he finds himself 2 goals behind, having been in front as a result of that Fernando Torres goal. And then the text jumped from, I was just about to say, from about 10 minutes to about half an hour, and then out of nowhere, Arca scored, Vieira scored, and the fellow whose name I can't pronounce scores as well. Southgate off. Jack's up front. I'm guessing in a 2 and a 1 at the back. Scotty, just give us a nudge that's all right. Yeah, I do really like the Holland inspired Loco Fire kit. Very nice indeed. Scotty, if you can just give us a little nudge, my man. Arrow on central EMC only. Okay, can you just give us an okay, please, bud? Spot on. Okay, lovely, and we will go to 60. No changes from the Memphis Rains guys in the absence rather of their manager. 49 minutes played. Montero goes into the corner kick. El Loco Fire just having a little bit more pressure at the start of this second half now. Oh, Jacques had broke through the offside trap, but put it wide. And we go back over to the El Loco Fire boys. A couple of the 6s have turned into 7s, but nothing massive to write home about. You probably think Van der Vaart's going to make an appearance here. Maybe the Alessandro for Kutuzov for Van der Vaart, and maybe Mito for Kaka. Scott, it says roll. And we will go to full time. Can the El Loco Fire boys? Oh, Torres. I think that was a double chance. I think it was a save from the keeper, and then he put one wide. And the Memphis Rains have probably ended the realistic hopes of El Loco Fire. The last dance, really. What was that Torres miss at the end? Was that a double off for Torres? Torres tried long range offer, put it clean over the bar. Yeah, it's not in the text, but it looked as though Torres had a couple of chances there towards the end. Over at the ratings, nothing massively stand out. Stevie G trying to do bits for him. Carla Jacques doing a little bit since coming on. Scotty saying his season's done there. Harry Kuehl, man of the match performance, and the Memphis Rains yearning to not be on that bottom spot. We're going to go with the Vikings against the Demons. In terms of the Demons, they make just a couple of changes in typical horse fashion. It was number position related. So Paredes takes the 4, Luis Enrique takes the 8, Marcelino takes the 7, and Exteberia goes on the bench. Massive win really for the Des Moines Demons against the Steam Pigs last time out, having been on a really troubling slide. And as we've said with the table at the start of the show, the Demons have probably secured themselves a playoff position, given that they're 8 points off the next best team below the dotted line, which is the Gators on 33. Over to their opponents, the Vikings, who continue to be really difficult to beat and just grind out results when they do look like the second best side. And they do make a couple of changes tonight. Petkoff comes into MC because Johnson and Johnson, the DMC combination, given that they are missing both Desai and Patrick Vieira. And Vieira is out for 2 weeks, which should probably turn him around for just when he needs the most in the playoffs. Vikings looking well, comfortable, chasing the Bisons. Suppose a win would be nice for the Vikings here to put some pressure on the Vikings, even though they've got 2 games ahead of them. And the Des Moines Demons are really probably just wanting 2 more draws out of these last 5 games just to really get themselves comfortable and over the line. None of us are really sure Van Nistelrooy puts them 1-0 up. Former Des Moines Demons player, I think, at the start of the season. And there is 2, Roy Mackay. Toldo is going absolutely nuts. 30 minutes played, and the Vikings seem to have won this game already. None of us are really 100% sure how the playoffs are going to roll. Who's going to play who's going to be drawn against who. So you'd probably want players to be picking up injuries and suspensions now, just so you've got them back in for whatever madness the All-Star Atlantic League will pull. Vikings don't answer their 2 early goals. Have been very much the dominant side in control from the off. Horse spotting that 2 goals in the same minute, which is unusual. I think very unusual in Champ. Maxim Sigalkos went into the book in a 5-4 Paredes, who is Horse's talisman in the midfield. There, I don't think it's any chance of him being pulled. And we'll go over to the Vikings, who are on the flip side of the Demons. I've got some good 8s and good 9s, and no one scoring below a 7. Just going to give Jens a couple of minutes. Haven't heard that he hasn't been able to make it. As Spain go 2-1 up. And Ronnie Johnson on a 9 in DMC continues to. He's probably established himself now as, rather than a cult hero, he is definitely a mainstay of the echelons of Champ. Nothing from Jens, so we will go to 60, and if anything comes in from Jens, we will make it off, and we jump to 60 straight away. 65 minutes there, I wasn't even looking. I was trying to watch the Spain goal, as we have some movement probably for Des Moines Demons coming. Sigalko still on that 6. Be really interesting to see what Horsey does with Sigalko at the end of the season. 6 is there, conditions-wise. Nothing massive to write home about. 83% on Carioca, probably the lowest of the bunch. 6s for Paredes. He's turned that 5 into a 6 since half time. Voladenkov, Recoba, Sigalko, and Enrique. All those creative players at the top end. I think it's highly likely we'll see Exteberia and potentially Lucenhoff, I would imagine, from Horse in a second. We will just give Jens another little look if he does turn up, and if he does drop in and he watches it back. Mackay and Van Nistelrooy with the goals. Dead 8 on 73%, but we won't make that substitution for him unless it turns into an injury, and we'll just see what the Horseman wants to do. Yes, Savage, mate. Yeah, second game. You just missed Memphis Reigns beating a local Fire 3-1. Just going to give Horse a couple of more, about a minute or so, because it's probably going to be a little bit of a detailed message. As I have half a lamb roast sandwich sitting on the desk staring at us. Definitely not the type of sort of sandwich content you can chomp on the stream. And there are the changes for the Horseman. Recoba for Vasilyuk. Carioca off for Exteberia. Voladenkov left striker. Vasilyuk right striker. Exteberia AMC with Arrow. Thanks. Thank you very much, Horse. That's brilliant. Yes, Rob, of course it's got mint sauce in. You cannot have lamb without a good, rich mint sauce. And that's 3 up front, by the way. Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Horse, mate. I think that was really, really clear given what was changed. We get to 76 minutes, and Van Nistelrooy gets through there. Yepes takes the tactical foul and gets the booking. Sigalko with half a chance, 79 minutes played. Vikings again just looking really, really solid. You'd be hard pushed to choose between the Bisons and the Vikings in a straight shootout for the playoff championship, to be fair. Sigalko with a chance at the end that hits the post, but it is probably the Vikings' most comfortable win in a while. It is unfortunately Rob, Council Estate white sliced, but on a Sunday night, it's kind of what you want for the nostalgia, don't you? You just need Emmerdale playing downstairs, or Heartbeat, and dry your arse by the 4-bar fire. Roy Mackay gets a man of the match performance, and Horse saying the right thing, couldn't stop them at all. Well played. When you just, when you do get outclassed, which we all can be in the All Stars, you just take it on the chin and crack on. Over to the Dandies against the Short Pump Sloths. The Dandies, we've just recognised, I've just recognised, Free Stream are actually top of the form table, which means that only one thing is going to happen tonight. They have been on a really, really good run, including the Cup, and it is a long, long time since they were beaten, and that was a defeat against the Vikings around about 10 games ago. Only one change for them tonight. Roy Keane comes back into MC for Patatoglu. Over at the Short Pump Sloths, they just make one change with, let me just check, was it Kesman in for Brugging, Rob? I think it was Kesman in for Brugging. I shall just double check that I haven't made that mistake. Kesman for Brugging, yep, lovely, excellent. And the Sloths did pull themselves back into the playoff hunt with a 3-2 win against the Vikings, with Del Piero scoring very, very late on. And actually, they're on a decent little run, given all things. They're 2 wins out of 3. And like we said at the start of the night, if they were to win tonight, they'd be within 3 of Alcatraz on the same amount of games, and within 4 of the Dandies on the same amount of games. So pretty big game this, all things considered, for the Slothman. And point wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Dandies here. As we kick off and we get underway, Cafu down that right-hand side, Cafu hasn't really been in the best of form the last couple of games on this Dandies run, which is a little bit bizarre. Back powers a header at goal, but does put it wide. And there is Kesman with a chance at the other end. This is end-to-end as Sloths, as Rob and Duggan games tend to be. It does tend to be high-scoring end-to-end. Lizarazu now, Konstantinu and Simkoviak is robbed by someone at the back, but didn't quite know who it was. Cafu has a shot over the bar corner. A lot of Dandies pressure, which usually just means that the Sloths are only a whisker away from going 1-0 up. Del Piero couldn't direct it. End-to-end stuff. And Penza corner. Jeremies has the header. Kesman, Del Piero, butt into the book. Oh, and there is back. Archie back bang on half-time. Puts in the rebound from a corner, I think. And Penza can't save, back blasted it in. And it did feel very, very end-to-end. That a really entertaining nils each until that last minute. As we jump over to the Sloths at half-time. Oliver Kahn, the standout, Nicky Butt into the book, and Gattuso really turning up and trying to do things to control the game from the back. And as Rob said, set up for the inevitable 3 up top kind of halfway through. And he's got the personnel on the pitch to be able to do that. Over at the Dandies, nothing really impressive, but just solid 7s and 8s. Nobody having a stinker, nobody having an amazing game, and Archie back having 3 of the chances on goal, but only putting 1 on target, and that was the goal. And Rob Sloth does move first. Del Piero left, Kesman right. There we go. Excellent. Rob, just confirm that, mate, while I have a quick look at what I'm doing. Jeremies is in the book, but he's on a 7, a little bit worried about that red card. So I think we're going to go Patatoglu. No, you can't take off a league's highest rate player, can you? Right, let's go to 60. May regret not substituting that. Khan with another big save, but it is Georgie Costa who is injured on 53 minutes. I'm going to make Ayala the sub. A player that I've had a hell of a lot to speak about and say about. Not all good at all. And Rob can just give us confirmation that he wants to do that. I can't see anything even remotely realistic that he would do otherwise. As we're on 52 minutes and we see if we can jump to 60. And there is Julian Guerrero. Oh, it's offside. What a massive goal that would have been. Back puts it over the bar. And it did feel as though Sloths could have been back into it there. Guerrero on 75%. What does Rob Sloth do from here? Salas and Del Piero both on 6s. Brugging is really the only attacking player that he can get on, unless he does something with Mark Kerr and Guerrero coming off or going up top, as we'll see what Rob wants to do. Over at the Dandies, we will make that change now. Patatoglu for Keane, and we will bring off, got to keep Konstantinu on with his form, haven't we? We'll bring on Ronaldo for Konstantinu. And Rob goes Brugging for Del Piero. And we will roll till full time. Best of luck, Rob. It's anyone's game, this. and we'll see what happens in the run-off to full-time. Simkoviak, Brugging, all of the big attacking players involved for both teams. Lots of chances. We've only played. Ronaldo hits the bar. 66 minutes played. Guerrero draws a big save from Chota. 79 minutes played. 75 minutes played, rather. Guerrero, Ferguson, Brugging. Ooh, great move for Shaw Pumpslots. If only they could have finished it, said the commentator. Dandies will want this. Oh, is there a bird with a good chance? If this ends 1-0, I will be absolutely amazed. 3 minutes of added time. Klompe, Okaronko, Keane to back. Ayala there with a big header. Ferguson now. Back takes the tactical yellow. 86 minutes played. Oh, the short pump slot's going to pump it up. Simkoviak, Gattuso, Ferguson. But into the area. Oh, and Guerrero puts it over the bar. Salas, big pressure from short pump slots in these last couple of minutes. Archie back. Gattuso takes the one for the team there. Constantino. How has Gattuso escaped the yellow card there? Back puts it wide. 3 minutes left. Salas, chased by Jotas. How was that a free kick? 91 minutes. Simkoviak. Can they hang on? Constantino now takes a tactical foul. Indirect free kick. See, Roberto whips it in. Ayala. Ooh, it would have been poetry if Ayala had been the one to rob Dandies of the 3 points. And it is Dandies that hang on with a quite fractured second half performance, but actually stats wise did create more. And then Penza gets a rare man of the match for him tonight, as the Dandies do march on. And as Rob said, that is probably the playoff hunt done for the Sloths. Well played, Rob, mate. Unlucky. Definitely deserved at least a point, I think, from that. But yeah, unlucky, bud. We go over to the drivetrain against the Gators. Kitchen Dan is away this weekend, and the drivetrain do go as is with this now really familiar 3 up top with the wingers looking to support. Their form has been pretty good, bar one result over the last couple of games, and that was against the Vikings, I believe. Yeah, and there's absolutely no shame in losing to the Vikings. Over to the Blackwater Gators, they make just the one change. Crespo comes in for. Who did Crespo come in for? Crespo came in for someone, and Saviola dropped back to AMC. I just want to check his submission if I can. Just make sure I've got the right subs. I have a feeling I've missed an attacking player off the subs. Hoffland back for Karanka. Crespo for Raquelme and injured. Yeah, brilliant. That's fine. Okay, best of luck to both, as Drivetrain will just want to keep their momentum up. But as we said at the start of the stream, Gators are being slowly sucked in. And there is Paul Scholes, what goal scoring form he has been in over the last 6 to 8 games or so. And the Drivetrain get the early goal. And Del Vecchio follows up again. Seedorf injured now. Kitchen Dan will be doing his nut as to what he has to do to get something out of this side. Dan, I'm going to apologise in advance because there's not really a natural fit here for that. Dan, forgive us, mate, but I think Bobby Carlos is a better winger than Benitez, so I'm going to go Bobby Carlos for Seedorf and switch him with Killy Gonzalez. So I apologise, mate, when you watch this back. I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds in case you do jump on. Yeah, Steve making a really good point that this Drivetrain are solid and class without having the names some others have. Yeah, very much Stanley-esque, isn't it? It's weird how managers kind of mould sides in their image. Like, I think the same about Stanley. You know, not spectacular names, but just really solid and resilient front to back. Haven't seen anything from Dan, so I am going to make that. If you're screaming at the computer watching it back, Dan, and you're not sure you would have done that, mate, please forgive us as we go from 23 minutes to, and it's 3 now, and this could be a little bit of a bloodbath. The Gators are in a horrific run of form, and the Drivetrain are putting them to the sword as a result of it. Kaluzhny into the boot now. You'd think that Dan is probably going to be one of the men. Kaluzhny with a chance could have got themselves back into the game there. And Nelka with a chance. Not only are they not keeping clean sheets, they're also not scoring. Remind me of Dandies about a dozen or so games back. They've only created 2. Drivetrain just absolutely clinical. Haven't had 4 shots on goal, 3 shots on target, and they find themselves 3-0 up. I would fully expect an as is from Savage. And when Neil Scally hasn't really had to be involved, you know that the opposition are really offering very little. I can't really justify making any changes on Dan's behalf. Buffon on a 5, but you'd probably still keep him on. And yeah, when you look at the names in that team, you do wonder why the game engine is deciding to treat them so harshly at the moment. Savage, let us know if you want to make any changes there, bud. You look very, very solid and very in control. It's an as is, and we'll just give Dan a couple of seconds just in case he does appear out of nowhere. And we will roll to 60 minutes. Thank you very much, Savage. Are they going to get 4? They did just score 6 against Seattle. I think Janet Cheddar into the boot now. That might alter Savage's thinking just a little bit. Janet Cheddar is on a 6, so you'd maybe see Peter Sand coming on, I think. But other than that, no conditional issues. We'll see what Savage wants to do there. Over at the Gators boys, Saviola on a 5 and Nelka on a 5. Really is a season that is petering out just a little bit. And if Short Pump had got something from the Dandies there, they really would have sat up and took note. The Gators may just still be in the mix, depending on what the Alcatraz boys do. Condition-wise, nothing significant. I am going to take Guardiola off for him, just purely because he's on a book and he's on 75%. And I think he's on a 7, so I am going to make that change for him just to protect him against what probably might be a yellow card. And the drivetrain are doing swap Janet Cheddar with Scally. Cheddar off for Alex. Alex to AMC. Like this, Mike? No arrow changes. Brilliant. Okay. Just give us a nudge that that's what you're after there, my man. Thank you very much. And we will go to full time on 61 minutes. As the drivetrain will continue to try and build momentum as they go into the playoffs. Can the Gators offer anything for their travel and support? Crespo with a chance, saved. Another chance for the Gators hits the woodwork, and it will be the drivetrain who do hang on, and it's a 3-0 rout for the drivetrain. And Kitchen Dan will not be wanting to watch this one back too often. Delvecchio on a 9 and a man of match performance with an assist and a goal. Well played drivetrain, well played Savage as the train rolls on. Over at the Alcatraz against the Steam Picks, it's an as is from Hopkins, as he last time out did beat a local fire, and as we said, does find himself in that 8th position for playoffs at this moment in time. Over at the Steam Pigs, Elbert and Shevchenko have been quiet for various different reasons. They do make the one change with Gustavo Lopez for Franca changing into that AMC position, and we'll see if the Steam Pigs can get themselves back on track as we kick off in probably the best away kit of the league, I think, the pink and the black. And there is Totti with a goal, but it is disallowed for his left toenail being offside. Oh, and it is Nicky Ferengo who puts his... Nicky Ferengo goes 1-0 up, and then Cosmin Contra, who has been very, very good for the Steam Pigs, gets sent off almost immediately after. Steve, you let me know what you want to do there. Haven't really got a natural DMC on there, DMRC rather. You sacrifice Franca and maybe bring on Ado, extend the wing back arrows and keep the 2 up top, given that he is behind. Haven't seen Hopkins in the chat, but he will have the opportunity to make a change if he does want to. Zanuni DMR, MVP DMC, and Emerson Central. There we go, Steve. Brilliant. Hopkins, I'll just show you the state of play. Haven't seen you, but I'll just show you the state of play, my man. Just in the event that you do turn up. 1-0 down, and Nicky Ferenko has put them ahead against the 10 men. Can the Alcatraz boys just pull something together to get themselves over the line in the last couple of games? Hopkins will not be bothered how he gets there, just as long as he does get to the playoffs. As it looks even in terms of stats-wise. And Kandaya with a 7. with a 9 rather, in that Alcatraz, the standout, and it's Nicky Franco with the goal, and it is Candaya who does get the assist for the goal as well. Over at Steam Pigs, whose changes will probably be limited ever so slightly by the fact that they have lost a man, but 6s and 7s there from key players in key positions, none more so than the kind of strike force, and at the back really struggling with one Samuel on a rare 6 at half time. Conditions wise, nothing to worry about, and we'll see what Steve wants to do. I suspect there may well be changes in store. Potentially a one at the back with Samwell, get the extra midfielder in there, or 2 AMCs behind one. I can't see Steve not making any changes here. And he does just go Larson for Elbert. And Tato making the point that the Pigs are stumbling the last couple of weeks, having been the runaway side in terms of goals scored and chances created for a hell of a long time. 45 minutes gone, no Hopkins changes, and we'll get to 60 minutes. Inzaghi puts it wide there. That could have been game, set, and match. Can the Steam Pigs use that to wake up? Collins into the book, 62 minutes played. Nedved, Inzaghi offside, and that is John Terry into the book. Will show Hopkins what he's looking like. Nothing to worry about in terms of ratings there. Certainly nothing to worry in terms of conditions. And we'll hop over to the Steam Pigs straight away, who do need something a little bit drastic at this stage, I think, to maybe not necessarily in this 30 minutes, but to certainly pull their form around. As we get towards the back end, we'll see what Steve wants to do. Not really much attacking options on the bench there. Extension of the arrows, I think, is a must. Or ML and MR, at the least. And probably a one at the back. Just roll, mate. Oh, is that the white flag from Steve? Has he kind of looked at the bench, looked at the 10 men and thought, yeah, fuck it, we're in bad form. There's nothing much I can do here. As we get to Nicky Franco, and Inzaghi puts the game to bed. And that is a surprising result, I think, despite the form that the Steam Pigs have been in. It was a really solid and controlled, un-Alcatraz-like win from the Alcatraz boys. Candaya getting the man of the match performance. Over at the Steam Pigs, too many 6s, and if you didn't know the result and looked at that, you'd probably be thinking of 1s each at best. Unlucky Stalemate. As we roll on, it is the Bisons against Pelham Pumas in the last game of the night. Dimble does go as is to the last game, which was a cup game, to be fair, and they were the better side and just got knocked out by the Dandies. All the usual superstars in all of the right places. Over to the Bisons, who also go as is for the Dandies. For the Bisons rather, as I thought Spain had put themselves 3-1 up, and they go and they roll. Great game to end the night. Hopefully, really attacking and loads of goals, and we'll see what the two teams can offer. Did see Dimble earlier on. I think he's probably just lurking in the background, multitasking with a bit of the football and a bit of champ. Lassisi goes into the book. Ronaldinho with an early chance there. It's a bit Marmite, that Pelham kit. You either absolutely love it. It's kind of like, reminds us of the Liverpool Candy away kit, which probably immediately will make Tato not like it anymore. We get to half time and it's 0 each. Two sides just really keeping it tight, both very good defensively, and both have a way of setting up that is just about kind of trying to nick the goal and be solid. And nothing reflects that more than both sides going as is. 45 minutes played. And we'll see who can get the first goal. Ryan Giggs. Those are the names that Tato wants to be seeing. Damiano Tomazzi, interestingly, is the highest rated player in the league in terms of average rating. Oh, and it is a goal. Is that a goal? And it's Patrick Kluivert. Candy away was in my thoughts. Class. Brilliant. And it is Patrick Kluivert who does put his side 1-0 up, as Nico Williams, who surely is going to get a massive move to someone, puts Spain 3-1 up. 5 for Kluivert, interestingly. Over at the Bisons, really not bad ratings for the team, but do find themselves 1-0 up at home, which is unusual. Mendieta on a 6. Doesn't happen very often. Conditions-wise, nothing to really worry about. But you're probably going to have the extension of Tato's arrows coming here, I think, on the ML and the MR. Tomazzi and Mendieta maybe up to MC if he absolutely needs to. but it is only 1-0 at this stage. What a finish that is from Nico Williams. Ronnie off for a Dielson. And roll from Dimble. We'll jump back over to Tato. The length of time it's took him to confirm something is probably indicative of what his instructions are going to be, which is absolutely fine. Mourinho off for Pierre. Move him to striker. Centralise Campbell, please. Extend arrows on the wingers. Cheers, Tato, as always, for the precision of your changes. And we will roll to 90 minutes. Not really a massive game in terms of, I say that, and then Rossini makes it all squared. Oh, and there's Iron Robin injured. Not really a massive game in terms of playoff connotations, really, but probably a little bit of an insight into two teams who will definitely go deep in the playoffs, and who knows, maybe even a final. Robin going off injured, you'd probably say it's going to be Charlotto or Facundo Sava, one of the two. In fact, I think it's probably more likely to be Facundo Sava, to be honest with you. Yeah. And he will roll. And we'll see who gets it inside the last 10 minutes. Rossini puts it wide. Pressure there from the Pelham boys. As Spain should have went 4-1 up. Raul tries his luck from distance. Festival with a big save. 2 minutes added on. Are we going to our first extra time of the night? Beckham, can he have a bit of magic? Oh, and Vesterfeld catches it. That could have been a bit of magic from Campbell. That would have won it. We go to 91 minutes. Neither manager will probably be wanting extra time, to be honest. They probably just want to get to the playoffs and make it happen. Giggs, Figo can't stop him. Giggs, Rossini! And the Bisons have done it so often this season. They are the late. It's Tato time in the league. And Pelham, despite the match stats, will probably be asking themselves, how the hell have we lost that? Given that we were ahead for 77 minutes. And it is Fausto Rossini who does get the man of the match performance with a late brace to just keep the Bisons away from the Vikings again. Brings us to the classifieds. Hang on, let's just see how we're gonna. It won't let us select the manager. Yeah, the USA have got a game, lads. So I will get the pack out straight away for everybody. And it'll be Dan the Man on Wednesday night. Yeah, if you could get your teams in nice and early, that'd be absolutely great. Oh, in fact, I think it's after this game, I think it's a double, just 2 games. I think for some reason it's just 2 games. I think it's the Bisons and Drivetrain and another fixture. So I shall let you know on the WhatsApp what the crack is, and we'll make plans from there. It may well be that myself or Dan can make arrangements with the 4 managers and just ask them to just get on a Zoom call and get it boxed off. But we'll see. As Mexico put this team of USA nobodies up 1-0 at half time. And we haven't really got any intention of doing anything with this USA side. So, gents, if you just give me just a second, I will jump to what the crack is fixtures-wise. Come on, nobody's asked. Great kits, Mexico, by the way. Great kits over the years. Okay, there we go. Let's have a little look. So, yeah, it is essentially the 3 sides that were involved in the cup and Bisons who didn't play because it was Drivetrain that they were playing. So we'll sort something out, I think, for me, Dimble, Tato and Savage, and then this will be Wednesday's fixtures. So what I'll do is I will do a pack for the 4 boys now, and then we'll sort something for Wednesday's fixtures. Okay. All right, lads. Good night and God bless.